Hello everyone and welcome back to Exploring Attractions. My name is Scott, and if you're new here, please subscribe down below with those bell notifications on and leave this video a like at the end if you do enjoy it. But I'm not going to waste any time, as it's been a while since we've analyzed some of BioReconstruct's Epic Universe construction photos. That's right, today we have an Epic Universe, Universal Orlando's Epic Universe construction update for you all, where we're going to take a look at all the pictures by BioReconstruct and analyze the changes that we've seen over the past couple weeks, or in this case, the past couple months. So please know it's been a while since I've done an Epic Universe update, so if there's new stuff that's been new for a couple weeks and I'm just seeing it now, then I apologize, because I haven't really taken the time to take a deep look into these photos, as I've been super busy with haunt season. But speaking of spooky stuff, we're going to start off with the Universal Monsters Dark Universe land, set to be opening at Epic Universe, where lots of work is going on with the entry portal. We talked about how just immersive and detailed this entry portal is going to look like, and it looks like they're getting a lot more of the structural work done. Obviously there's lots more rock work all over, but there's more like permanent walls where you can kind of get like a good definitive look of exactly how the entry portal will look. Obviously there will be rocks and everything, and there'll be a nice little tower at the top, so it looks like they're moving along quickly with that. And of course, right after you go through that entry portal, it leads you into the actual village, where lots of structural work is going into the village area. It's seeming to be more of like a complete land, if you will. Obviously you have the roller coaster rumored to be themed to the Wolfman, and you have the main e-ticket attraction. The Wolfman coaster actually has a lot of work going on around it. You have that kind of main area, that main show scene, if you will, as a part of this coaster. It's really big, a lot bigger than I thought, and they have been making changes to it ever since that building popped up. They've been making changes like crazy, so they're still adding more and more. I'm sure that we'll start to see more paint go into it and more of like what it's supposed to look like as the weeks go on. But on top of that, there's a lot of landscaping going on. The trees all around the coaster make it feel like it's supposed to be a part of the classic Monsters land. It makes me even more excited for this coaster. While it looks like it's not going to be the most thrilling coaster, it looks like just with all the decorations, the show scene, the landscaping, all of that fun stuff, it's just getting me even more anticipated for it and more excited for it. Same with the station and the queue. The station really hasn't received a whole ton of differences since the last time we talked about it, but either in the entrance of the attraction or the exit on the right hand side, it looks like there's more structural work going on, so that's going to look to be probably like a covered overhang for when you're sitting there on the brakes, or like I said, starting the attraction, because I'm not too sure where this attraction is start, either from the left or the right side. And the queue, of course, more work going on in the queue as well. There has been a brand new building popped up in this land, or some form of kiosk. My best guess on what this could be, since it is located right outside of the e-ticket attraction, is it could potentially be a exit gift shop slash photo shop slash just generic classic Monsters retail shop. Or maybe this is something else. Maybe it's like a meet and greet thing. But just judging based on its location and its placement, I think it's safe to say that it's going to be some form of exit gift shop. But who knows, because it looks like they're building even more behind, whether that be maintenance stuff or just a part of the extended queue. We don't know quite yet, but it could be extended queue, it could be just maintenance in the back of that attraction. And we move over to Super Nintendo World, where there's been a lot of work going on with the Donkey Kong Mine Coaster. So of course they do have reach test vehicles out there, and there's like a little kiosk located right outside of the Donkey Kong Coaster too. Not too sure what that's there for, but it's exciting to see actual like test cars on this track. It's crazy that we're at that phase already, to where they're slowly starting to begin the early phases of testing. This is similar to the testing that they did with Velocicoaster, when they're pushing it manually throughout the coaster, not full on cycles, but they're pushing it themselves and moving it where they want it to be at. So it's exciting, because like just seeing the actual theming there of the obviously the minecart tracks, and then the actual ride vehicle, that's so exciting. And the fact that we're still, it's, like I talk about in every Epic Universe video, they say summer 2025. The fact that we're already this early on and it's not even the end of 2023, it's exciting and definitely says something as far as like AP previews goes, employee previews, as far as when we can expect those, even earlier potentially than that summer 2025 opening time frame. You get a good look here at one of the like splash locations to where the coaster car is going to jump over the track, and there will be a little pool right underneath you, and then of course all the other theming of the track around it, and then tons and tons of work going on for the station and the rest of the queue. They have removed a lot of the scaffolding around the station, as it looks like they're prepping for even more detail, and the kind of detail is slowly starting to cover up the lift hill, which will begin the ascend to the rest of the Donkey Kong Mine coaster. Super Nintendo World is receiving even more detail, as there have been paintings of green and brown, obviously for the Mushroom Kingdom. You can see one of these structures looks like the pyramids that you see in Hollywood on top of the inside portion of the Yoshi Omnimover attraction. Mount Beanpole is still underway with its construction. You can see slowly start to see actually some bit of detail throughout Mount Beanpole. Here you get a good look at where exactly the Omnimover entrance will be to the indoor scene, so that's cool. Little small warp pipe, and obviously you see tons of different Super Nintendo characters in there. I think Shy Guy's in there. There's maybe some Baby Yoshis in there, and Baby Yoshis along the rest of the ride experience. Princess Peach's castle is slowly starting to take shape. As you can see, a lot of the steel is starting to make that shape of the entryway of Princess Peach's castle. And then we jump on over to Epic Universe's How to Train Your Dragon Land, the land with the most amount of detail right now as it stands compared to any other land. They have added the ride vehicles to that flat ride, and now you can kind of get an idea of exactly how the ride's going to work. They're one-person seaters, and you'll be strapped in, and you're actually going to spin around in a circle 360 degrees, while also the chairs are spinning upside down 360 degrees. And that's how the ride's going to work. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. It's only for obviously the most thrilling of seekers, if I said that right. But yeah, seeing the fact that we already knew that they had dragons on top of those holding vehicles, and now that they actually have the actual vehicles attached to the ride base, it's so exciting, because technically you could say that this ride is already complete. Now obviously we don't have the queue, the actual dispatch, little kiosk, and everything else, but we have the ride vehicles and the ride base there. So we have something nearing completion for sure, and the colors pop like no other. And that's why I say How to Train Your Dragon definitely has the most amount of detail right now, because they have these statues of Berk, which have been painted for quite some time. That was first discovered earlier this year, and all the Viking boats in that main little pool area, as guests will be greeted with once you walk into the How to Train Your Dragon land. And it looks like they're getting ready for a lot more flooring going in around that main area that you'll walk in and be greeted with those statues of Berk. And then walls are going up outside of the land to kind of fully immerse you in the How to Train Your Dragon land. But just look at how amazing those statues of Berk look, obviously with the Viking boats behind, but that transition into the immersive experience is going to be amazing seeing that. I can already see there being a long line of people waiting to take a photo right in that spot with the coaster soaring past on the left hand side. Oh, look at this. The load station for the How to Train Your Dragon coaster, the main coaster that will go through the entire land, is also starting to receive detail. Looks like some form of brown kind of structural work going on there. This is supposed to be more of like a rustic type of vibe with this station. So that's going up. I remember just a few months ago when the station was just all wood, and it's now exciting to see that detail being added. Obviously, right next to it, you have the Great Hall restaurant, where it's not as far in advance with the detail as the load station and the flat ride and the little pond with the statues of Berk, but it's still, you can tell it's getting prepared to have that same detail added. And you know, I say any week now at this point, and it looks like actually that like wooden pieces, it's going to get painted obviously, but it looks like those wooden pieces are part of the theming. Like those look like thematically placed, and a lot of these show elements and hidden walls hiding the maintenance bay entrance are all starting to be added as well. That's what all the steel is, just right outside of the maintenance bay. And wow, it looks like now we have some confirmation on what exactly that weird looking archway is going to be in the land. It looks exactly like a miniature gift shop. There's no windows or anything in there, but you know, I don't see it being anything else. I think this will be just a smaller gift shop. I don't know what it will be themed to, like if there will be a specific theme or if it'll just be generic how to train your dragon merchandise. But who knows, it could also be like a food place, but I doubt that, because they would need a little bit more of a backing for it to be a food place. So this will most likely be a gift shop. It's a cool looking gift shop though, that's for sure. It looks like something that you'd find in like a water park, something like Volcano Bay. And real quickly, I just want to talk about the main hub with the dual racing roller coaster and the hotel. The hotel is going more and more and more floors up. It's starting to move very fast. There's adding more and more floors, whereas before it sat at 2 floors for the longest time. So I definitely think it'll be a couple weeks or so until we start to see more like structural work going into it as far as what it's going to look like on the top portion of it and the painting, because the off-site hotel is already receiving all the decal and all the paint on the outside. And then also a part of the hub, the dual racing roller coaster. We're not going to go too much into detail of all the changes, but I just wanted to share this image that was captured by BioReconstruct of just how beautiful that coaster looks with all the landscaping around it, all of the grass, and then obviously all of that white part underneath will be for employees to walk under for maintenance, and if they have any evacs, I'm sure that will also be for guests to be evacuated off as well. But the coaster, man, the coaster just, it looks beautiful. Like there's really not much else that you can say for it other than it looks beautiful, especially with all that landscape in there. But yeah, we're not going to go into any more of the updates for today's Epic Universe video. However, I will be going back to doing these weekly now that haunt season's kind of settled down a little bit, at least for like all the media events in the beginning weeks of September. So we'll talk about more like the Wizarding World next week and more of the hub attractions next week as well. I just wanted to get an update out there for you guys, kind of give my thoughts on everything. But let me know down below in the comments section what you're most excited for about Epic Universe, and as always, please hit that subscribe button with those bell notifications on and leave this video a like if you did enjoy it. Positivity is key, and most importantly, remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.